5 on Your Health tonight, breaking down what is in a so-called Borg. That's the acronym for a blackout rage gallon. And you can see here, Boston police, they confiscated a lot of the so-called Borgs yesterday at the St. Patrick's Day parade in Southie.
Joining us now, Dr. Scott Hadland, Chief of Adolescent Medicine at Mass General for Children. Dr. Hadland, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so generally the first ingredient going into that milk gallon jug is some type of alcohol, it's usually vodka. What else is in there?
Yeah, there's usually 4 things in ingredients that you'll find in recipes online for these Borgs. Alcohol, as you mentioned, usually it's a clear alcohol like vodka, like you said, and then water usually makes up the rest of the volume, but people typically also then add caffeine and electrolytes to them. And often these end up being brightly colored because of what people add to them. And all of this mixed together into a gallon jug. And the stated goal of these Borgs is to help people sort of drink longer throughout the day, to stay awake, to stay hydrated, and to help combat a hangover. The problem is that the amount of alcohol that's often in these is such a large amount that you're certainly not going to prevent a hangover, and you're actually putting yourself at risk for alcohol poisoning, injury, and other harmful effects of alcohol.
Yes, so much alcohol. So some recipes say it's about like half that gallon is something like vodka. So if, say, one person is drinking that through a full day, does that length of time help? And what are the risks? You mentioned alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, the length of time helps a little bit, but unfortunately, if you do the math, a gallon is 128 fluid ounces of liquid, right? And so half of that, if you're making a recipe that's half vodka, half the other stuff, you're having 64 fluid ounces of vodka. The math behind that is equated to about 30 to 40 shots of hard alcohol. So even if you're drinking that over the course of a day, you're still putting yourself at risk, again, for alcohol poisoning, which we tend to think of as when somebody has mental status changes, they might be stumbling, they might be at risk of losing consciousness or have lost consciousness, or to experience vomiting and other adverse effects. And so you can really sort of have a lot of alcohol in these. Other recipes call for smaller amounts, like adding 1/5 of vodka, but even that's going to amount to about 15 to 20 shots of alcohol in one of these. So it's an enormous amount of alcohol.
Oh, sounds awful.
Yeah.
All right, I think the first time we heard about this trend was more than 2 years ago when about 24 students at UMass were hospitalized after drinking those so-called Borgs all day. So is it still mostly college kids who are doing this, or is it getting younger than that?
Yeah, it is still mostly college-age students that are doing this. And part of it is that, Borgs are a little bit audacious, right? The idea that you would walk around with an entire gallon jug filled with alcohol and other things that's brightly colored, that's going to draw attention, right? So a lot of teenagers, look, most teenagers don't drink alcohol, but the percentage of teens who do drink alcohol are often doing so in a way where they're trying to hide it from parents and adults. And so that's why Borgs probably haven't caught on to the same extent among high school students as they have among college students. But of course, a lot of trends that start in the young adult years and in college students do make their way down to high school students. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that.
Okay, well, Dr. Hadland, thanks for joining us and for all that information.
Thank you.
Thanks.